I'm 72 years old. I woke up this morning with the same ache in my lower back and the same quiet thought that comes to me most days now, that there isn't much left ahead and I should probably stop pretending otherwise. I'm not saying that to scare anyone. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And at this age, the truth doesn't wait politely anymore. It just shows up. You either look at it or you don't. I live alone. The house isn't big, but it feels bigger than it used to. Rooms stretch when there's no one else moving through them. Sound travels differently. Even the clock sounds louder when it's the only thing talking. Some mornings I sit at the kitchen table longer than I need to, just holding my coffee and watching the light change on the floor. I used to rush through mornings. I was always late for something. Now there's nowhere I need to be, and that's part of what hurts. People think turning 72 is about getting old. It's not. It's about realizing how much is already gone. I still remember being younger and thinking old age was a single moment you crossed into, like stepping over a line. You weren't old. Then you were. I know better now. It sneaks up in inches. You don't feel it happening. You just notice one day that the world no longer waits for you. I'm telling this because I don't need applause or sympathy. I don't even know who I'm telling it for. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's just because I've run out of reasons to keep quiet. When I was in my 20s, I didn't think much about time. Time felt generous, endless even. I worked hard, saved when I could, said yes to overtime, yes to responsibility, yes to being dependable. I liked being needed. It gave me a shape. I told myself I was building something, a future, security, a version of life that would eventually slow down and let me breathe. That part sounded reasonable. It didn't feel like a mistake. I worked a steady job, same commute every day, same coffee shop on the corner, same nod to the same people I never really knew. I came home tired and told myself I'd catch up with friends soon. I'd visit more often. I'd call back when things weren't so busy. Things were always busy. I remember conversations I postponed like they were items on a list. Next weekend, after this project, once things settle. I didn't know that things don't actually settle. They just change shape and keep moving. I was married, not unhappily, at least not in any obvious way. We shared bills, routines, inside jokes that faded quietly. We talked about practical things more than anything else. Groceries, schedules, repairs. We loved each other, I think. Or maybe we just assumed we did because that's what we were supposed to do. We didn't fight much. I used to think that meant we were doing well. Now I understand that silence can be its own kind of distance. I miss small moments without noticing. I skipped dinners because I was tired. I half listened because my mind was still at work. I nodded instead of asking questions. None of it felt dramatic. That's the dangerous part. Years passed that way. Not loudly, not badly, just quietly. Friends drifted, some moved away, some got sick, some stopped calling when I didn't return messages quickly enough. I told myself that was normal, that adult life worked like that. I kept thinking I'd have time later to repair what loosened. Later came faster than I expected. The cost didn't show up all at once. It came in moments that didn't announce themselves. Realizing I didn't know what was going on in someone's life anymore. Hearing about an event after it already happened. Being invited out of politeness rather than closeness. I became reliable but forgettable. Present but not really seen. My marriage ended without a big explosion. We sat at a table and admitted we had been living parallel lives for years. No shouting, no slammed doors. Just a mutual tiredness. We told each other we wished the other well. I meant it. I still do. But I also wish I had noticed sooner that we were slipping away from each other while we were still in the same room. Work carried me forward. Promotions came. Pay increased. People praised my dedication. I believed them when they said I was doing well. What they didn't say was that none of it would keep me company later. The turning point didn't come as a revelation. It came as a phone call. A friend I hadn't seen in years died suddenly. Heart, they said. I stood in my living room holding the phone after the call ended, trying to remember the last real conversation we had. I couldn't. I remembered fragments. Plans we never followed through on. Jokes that didn't go anywhere. At the funeral, I recognized faces but didn't know their stories anymore. People spoke about memories I wasn't part of. I realized how small my place had become in lives I once shared closely. That's when something shifted, not dramatically, just enough to hurt. Later, my health began to change. Nothing catastrophic at first, just slower healing, more doctor visits, more numbers to watch. I started thinking in terms of limits. That's when clarity shows up. When your body stops pretending along with you. There are things I can't fix now. That's the part people don't talk about much. They talk about second chances, reinvention, starting over. Those ideas belong to people who still have time to waste. Some doors don't reopen. Some conversations stay unspoken. Some relationships don't survive neglect, even if it was unintentional. I can't go back and be more present. I can't sit at that dinner table again and choose differently. I can't hear voices that are gone. I live with that knowledge now. It's heavy, but it's also clear. There's no confusion left about what mattered. If you're listening to this and you're younger, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I wouldn't listen either. I know how that feels. I'll just tell you what I wish I had understood earlier. Time doesn't wait for readiness. It moves whether you're paying attention or not. The moments you think are ordinary are the ones you miss later. The conversations you rush through are the ones you wish you had stayed in longer. Being busy is not the same as being needed. Being productive is not the same as being present. I learned that too late to change much about it. People don't drift away all at once. They fade when you assume they'll always be there. Now, at 72, my days are quieter. Some of that quiet is peaceful. Some of it is just empty space. I try to fill it with small things. A walk, a call, a memory that still feels warm. I don't know how much time I have left. No one does. I just know it's less than it was. If this meant something to you, sit with it for a moment. You don't need to act on it. Just notice who and what you're postponing. As for me, I'll finish my coffee, wash the cup, and let the day move forward. That's what I have now. And I'm finally honest enough to see it for what it is.